Why do avoidants always regret losing you when it's too late? This is such a common theme that a lot of people experience when they've gone through a relationship with an avoidant, right? You've gone through all of this time trying to get this avoidant to see the value of both you and the relationship and just trying to see how this avoidant attachment style is really hindering this. And you do everything to work with them to just kind of gradually get them to recognize this. And you even will go as far as allow them to slowly start to work on this, and they don't have to go cold turkey, but they never really see the magnitude of this avoidant attachment style. And that's a lot to do with how they've built this fortress, right? They have gone such a long period of time of being this way. It started off very young when they were with their caregiver and the caregiver was not meeting their emotional needs. And they slowly but surely started to build this avoidance system and way of being until it was a complete strong fortress, and it becomes so very hard to kind of break through here. So because of that, they very rarely feel the loss right away. It takes them such a drastic long time to do that because that avoidance system triggers right away, and it's so powerful for them, right? It really does a crazy job at convincing them that everything is on everyone else, that they're not doing anything wrong, and that everyone else is the problem as to why they are feeling this way, right? They do at some point in time start to realize that they are the problem, but they are so far into this way of being that they get to a point where they really convince themselves that it's not them and that they're not going to change and that this way of being is just who they're going to always be. And because of this, there's a part of them that genuinely believes that you are going to always be around, right? They feel like you are going to emotionally be connected to them in some way or some form. And this false sense of reality that they have is due to how you responded in the relationship. When you were trying to show your care and commitment to them, you were hoping that this would start to wake them up. And this did the exact opposite for them. They thought that by you being this way, you are basically telling them that this way of being is acceptable, which it's not, right? This is not what you were doing. You were just simply doing what anyone would do in this scenario. But they essentially run with this, and they really believe that they can continue to be this way and that you are going to always be there. You're always going to be emotionally connected. They're always going to have some kind of way of getting back with you. And this can be so frustrating for you because that's not what you want them to feel, right? You want them to know that they could lose you. And it's in the sense that you want them to not take you for granted because they really have took for granted everything that you've done for them up until this point. So when they see you move on in some way or some form, whether it's you not reaching out to them when they expect you to, or they see you out with someone else, this is where they start to realize the real reality of things. And that is, this is no longer going to happen this way, right? You are not going to just wait around for them and just, see if they're going to try to make the changes that you've been asking them to make for so long when it comes to avoidant attachment style. And you're just going to move on with your life. And this forces them to confront that reality that they are losing the best thing that has ever happened to them. And that is you and the relationship. So this is what causes them to speed up this realization and to have all of those emotions that you would expect them to have in the beginning of the breakup. It floods them in that moment, and then they find themselves trying to get back with you, and they try to do everything in their power to try to get back to you, right? And this can be so frustrating to you because here you are, moved on, finally healed, and then this person is coming back, reopening those wounds, and it's like, why now? Like, out of all the times that we could have done this, you're doing this now when I thought I was moved on, and it causes you to feel some type of way when you're hearing that, right? But it's so important for you to recognize what is really going on here, and that is this person is starting to really realize the magnitude of their avoidant attachment style and how they are most likely going to lose you entirely. And the last thing that you see as to why they are having this reaction is that they have come to the real realization that they're not going to be able to recreate the emotional comfortability that you guys had with each other and all the different things that made the relationship special. They're not going to be able to recreate that in the ex person, right? They realize that they really did enjoy the time that they had with you and that the things were good, and they really allowed this avoidant attachment style to get in the way of things and to cause the relationship to not work. So because when they go out with different people and rebound relationships, they start to realize how they're trying to recreate what they had with you with them, which is never going to work. You are one unique individual, and that relationship is never going to be found anywhere else. They come to that realization really fast a lot of times, where they just are hopping around and around, and they keep thinking like, oh, I'm going to find somebody. I'm just not in the right mindset. Whatever it is that they're convincing themselves, they don't get to that realization until a while where out of nowhere they're reminded of you, or they just come to the realization that the reason why they're having such a hard time finding that relationship is that it's not with you, right? So this is where you will tend to see them try to reach back out to you and try to make things work out again, and you know, do whatever they do to kind of loop you back in. And the one thing that I hope you can take away from this video is that it's so important for you to recognize this for what it is, right? I'm not saying that every avoidant has this mentality. There could be an avoidant who really is trying to get back with you, and you can work with them and see if this is legitimate and do what you think is best for you. But it's so important for you to be so skeptical here. You really, really need to be on your game and making sure that this person is really doing the things that they need to do. It's not just fluff. It's not just them trying to tell you what they think you want to hear so that they can get you hooked back again. And then once again, they get comfortable. They run this cycle over and over again. You don't deserve to have to keep going through that. It's enough. You've done this for so long. You've tried everything that you could to convince this person to change while you're in the relationship. And it's time for them to put their money where their mouth is. They need to go and actually take action towards this. No more excuses, no more whatever this is that they're doing. They need to try to work on this if they're going to work things out with you. And this is the mentality that you need to have for yourself, because you need this boundary. You're no longer going to put up with this game. It's time for you to do what's best for you. And chances are the best thing for you to do here is to figure out what you need to do to heal and move on from this. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.